welcome back, guys. We're on day 10, plugging along. Got some parts in today. Let's see, something came in yesterday, trying to remember what. Oh, the steering head bearings. Those came in, still waiting on the wheel bearings, but we will be able to put back the steering head bearings, get those greased up, get them installed, and new seals in there. I got a whole kit from All Balls, dirt cheap. Tell you what, I was really surprised by how cheap the stuff is. I got the upgraded roller bearings. You know, those were, I think, 18 bucks for the whole kit. Front wheel bearings were 10 bucks. Rear, I think, were 14. I mean, super cheap. You can find them all over eBay, Amazon, and pretty much any bike store out there. But what just came in, I think this is going to be my shock, and I know that's tires. Can't have the tires put on quite yet until I get the bearings in. But those are my, those will go right down to my local guy. Does a good job, 50 bucks with both tires mounted and balanced. Can't beat that. Dealer wanted twice as much, by the way. I know because I just had new tires put on my FJR. And I gave the dealer first crack, you know, hey, you want to try to earn my business? You know, he sold me the bike. Nah, no discount. Full hour of labor, even though the whole job. This is wheels off the bike, by the way. Me just bringing him the wheels, new tires, here you go. You're talking a 20-minute job, taking your time, and that's how long the new guy took. You know, not the new guy, the local guy. Just ridiculous. All right, new bubble wrap. I can always use this because I ship a lot of crap, even though I hate it. All right, this is my shock. Off a 2006 Suzuki Boulevard from usedcycleparts.com. Awesome. And it's pretty much like new. This one they said came off a bike with just a few thousand miles on it. So a complete refresh. The one on this has 42 and change. Please read this first. Any issues, contact, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, no problem there. Awesome. This looks clean. No dings, no dents, no rust. Bushing looks good. Sweet. So that is literally ready to bolt back on. I have to take the old one off. And while I'm in there, I will be checking out the swing arm, make sure the bearings are good, and then re-lube it. And then we are actually at the turning point where it's swinging back, and now we're back and we're going into assembly mode. So I'll start with this, start with the steering bearings. Still have just a little bit of cleanup left. I'm gonna hit the floorboards with the Dremel, and it'll be like ready to go, just waiting on parts. Got now through next Friday. Today's Friday. What's today? 3rd, 2nd, 3rd, I think. Tomorrow's the 4th. Can't remember. Parts coming every day, so it's just going to be a mad rush next week. As soon as those fenders hit, they're coming on Tuesday, probably real late, so I'll be able to take the tank and fenders down to the painter, which is another local guy. Got a quote, 450 bucks to paint all 3 pieces, and that includes prepping the tank. I just have everything off of it, and that's not bad. That's going to be a nice metallic deep red, and I would imagine that's going to take a few days. I worked for a company that did painting, and I mean, it's probably, you're looking at an hour or 2 of prep, then the painting itself, and then a lot of drying. They probably have an oven it goes through, so you know, probably half a week once I drop the parts off to get them back ready to bolt on. So we're still on schedule. That's not going to hold anything up. As soon as I get the wheel bearings in, we'll pop those in, get the tires mounted, put the wheels back on the bike. That'll give me a rolling chassis again, and it's going to go bing bang boom pretty fast there. I will be able to do the valve adjustment at that point. I want to put everything back on it and get some more weight on it and balance it a little bit better on the stand before I go cranking around with the engine. And I will do the throttle body sync after it's complete, because the engine has to be running for that, and I want that on the ground, not up on the stand. And that'll be it. So we're getting there. I will have a complete budget. I've kept track of every expenditure at the end of the video. So, you know, whatever it ends up being, you'll know exactly what I spent. And, you know, if you're interested in doing this kind of project or something in between, maybe you just want to buy a used bike and you're looking at doing what needs to be done to it, you'll have a list of costs and, you know, things to look at. Maybe you just want to do part of this. You know, maybe you just want to upgrade the headlight, or you just want to get the rear sender in the feet, or maybe you just want to do handlebars. you know, the series should help you out do that, and I want to give you an idea of the cost too. So, oh, one other quick thing I can do is swap this bezel. I'm going to pop my gauge out and replace this bezel because this one's dinged, and we'll put on the new one, chuck this, so that'll be quick and easy. We're getting there. Still waiting on all my brake parts too. We got new shoes and pads coming. I thought those might come today, but no. Anyway, as long as they come before the wheels are ready to go back on, no big deal there. But otherwise, it does have to wait for the brake parts. Let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and take the floorboards off for some painting. The finish on them, they're aluminum, and the outer coating is chipped away in the front, especially on the other one. And it's probably from rocks and stuff hitting it, but there's also a whole bunch of scrapes, especially on the left side here, from obviously where it went down at some point. But it's just in real rough shape, and I can't polish it. There's nothing to polish. So what I'm going to do is take them off, and they're held on. I just noticed there's a big chunk missing out of this one here. They're held on by a pin and an E-clip, which is kind of a pain in the butt to take off, but it's easier than disassembling the whole thing. And then these three nuts or bolts here hold on the pad. So I'm just going to take the pad off and hit the whole thing with that same black hammered paint. I think that'll look real nice. I just got to clean up this bit here. It's where I started to polish, and then I noticed the finish was actually completely flaked off, so there's nothing left to do to it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this other one off, prep them, and we'll get them painted. And there we go. Those will be ready to bolt on tomorrow once they dry. Much nicer looking finish. I do love that hammered texture. Don't need to cover it all because the pads will be covering this side here. Did I miss that, or is that just the sun? I need to hit that strip right there on the edge. Cool. I think this might be a relatively short day. Had a bunch of clients calling. It's Friday. Everybody wants stuff done now. They don't do it on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. They wait until Friday. So I'm trying to catch up here. Let's go ahead and swap this bezel out. Looks like 3 screws. Phillips. See if my slot here will fit these two. I like using a big slot whenever possible on a Phillips. Much better fit there than a Phillips would be. 2 big brass screws and then 1 little one down here at the bottom, and I do need a Phillips for that one. So I figured out a really good working system allowing me to still have fun out here and play my music. I simply turn it down low enough where the camera isn't really picking it up. I have to be careful because if music is detected by YouTube, they totally screw me. They can close my account. So I really cannot risk anything like that happening. That's why, you know, I did the time lapse so I could listen to music, but I totally understand that those aren't the best kind of video to watch. So I needed to find a happy medium. Now, how the heck does this thing come out? Looks like it's on slotted tabs or something here. Does this whole thing slide? It looks like it pops out, but I don't see how this whole thing moves. Alright, well, let me figure this out and I'll be back. Okay, I figured it out. It was just kind of stuck. The plastic was stuck to the rubber, but all it does is this whole bushing comes off the shaft here, and then it just slides back out. Put this guy back in, took it out just to get a better look. And this washer goes on top here after you take that screw out. So goodbye damaged bezel. Hello good bezel. Let's make sure all the parts are transferred over. 2 bushings, shaft, everything's the same, button pads. Okay, good to go. That one is garbage. This guy goes in. And the nice thing is your odometer doesn't change because this is, you know, the whole speedo cluster. Now, scarily enough, you can just buy these on eBay and they'll come with whatever mileage it happens to have. So I could swap this out with one with, you know, 5,000 miles on the clock. The title's still going to have the old sold mileage on it, but you know, if somebody's kind of shady, they can do that. These are dirt cheap too. I mean, they're under $100 for a cluster. I was looking because if you remember when I was buying the bike, I test drove the touring model, and the touring model has a white face, and I wanted the black, so I was looking for a black. And then I picked up the bike. I'm like, holy crap, it's got a black. Sweet, I don't have to do anything. So that's how I figured out they were really, really inexpensive to game your odometer. Set this guy back in there, the washer back on. 2 big bushing bolts. And the 1 little Phillips. Don't forget the washer. Whew, see how hot it is? I am just drenched in sweat. It's 97 degrees. Feels like 90% humidity because it's just about to rain. There's been storms, and huge storms. Today in Tampa, there's flooding. There's actually a building that collapsed today. Ping-pong sized hail. Luckily, that doesn't make its way over here, but I really wish something would so it cools it down. I'm right on the water, and we get the sea breeze. Man, it just keeps it hot and humid this year. It's very, very unusual. And there we go. Clean this guy up, and he's good to put on the bike. Well, let's see about getting this shock off. Looks like we have 1 bolt at the top. Down here, got 1 bolt at the bottom. I'm not sure if anything else will have to be loosened. I should probably take this battery tray out. I imagine it's going to have to come up the top. I think that's all. Should need to take it off. So maybe 12 or 14. Guess I'll do the bottom one first. Once I get the shock off, I'll be able to feel the swing arm, see if I can detect any kind of lateral movement. Is that even spinning? Is there a nut on the other side? It's really tight. And that'll kind of tell me if I need to do anything with the swing arm bearings. They shouldn't be bad at 40,000 miles, so it'd be very odd if I did. Now, nuts inside the casing, so it's just really tight. That's fine. Loving this new extending ratchet. Really makes it easy. Probably one of the best 20 bucks I've spent on a tool in a long time. I imagine this is going to be under some tension, even though all the weight is off of it. It still probably has some spring pressure. Which kind of makes me wonder, how am I going to get it back on if it springs off? Might be the first time I need to consult the manual. We'll see. Maybe it's loose. Who knows? Wow, long bolt. I need to make sure that's turning. It really is taking forever. Okay, I can see it. See what's turning. Need 2 hands. It is not built into the case. It is spinning. Let me grab a wrench. Oh man, this is one of the tools out of that case. Something did die in that tool case. Freaking reeks. It smells like death. Like a dead rat. Let's see here. It's gonna want to spin this way. So as long as that wrench holds on there, should be able to take it off. Yeah, two people would come in handy for some stuff, that's for sure. Just got to get this balanced up here. You know what? Let me grab a closed end wrench, and that'll just hang. That'll be fine. Work smarter, not harder. There we go. That should hold. Whew, that's hot. It is really hot. Oh God, now my hand stinks from that wrench. It was really nasty. Son of a... Come on now. What a bugger. Of course, I can't see or feel it from the other side. Alright, stay on there, man. Trying to help you here. Come on, twist. God, kidding me. There we go. Holy moly. What a pain in the ass. Should see that nut drop in a second. There we go. Okay. I wonder if this will unscrew or if I have to pull it out. Looks like I have to pull it out. No, it's just in there, spinning. So, maybe the top one has to come out, and I can slide it. I don't know. Wow, was that tight? It almost feels like it's... I'm going to take this off, because it almost feels like it's stripping. Put these bolts right in the battery box. They don't get lost. Just got to feed a few wires through here and should be able to lift this all off. Pretty sure it's got to come off for the new seat anyway. I'm going to have to cut part of the frame. Once the seat gets here, got an electrical connector here to take off. Looks like a relay. Probably the starter, I would imagine. No clearance there. Take this little cover off, maybe. Oh, there's some fuses in there. Yeah, it's a starter relay. And gotta take off 2 starter bolts. Yeah, definitely gonna be done after I get this shop done. Come on, I don't want to break this plastic. This bolt's really tight though. There we go. There's one. Positive goes towards the rear. There's 2. This one goes to the starter. out this little slot. Wire follows it. Barely. Get out of there. Come on. And wiring loom out the side. Okay. Free and clear. Oh, that's much better visibility, I'll tell you that. Whew. All right, what do we got here? Same thing, nut and a bolt. I'm going to try getting the nut first. It should be easier to break than the bolt side, I would imagine. Right through the wiring harness. All right, let's see if we can break this one free. There we go. Wow. Now the bolt's spinning, so I need that wrench again. I gotta find that other nut that dropped. Put that there. You know. Okay, nuts free. So we got the upper and lower bolts free. Now we have to get it out of the shock. Never done this before. It's definitely under some tension. Oh, but it does come out. Interesting. Wiggle. Give it another couple turns. It's just about out. Maybe some spin and some turns. There we go. Put the nut with it. Where'd that other nut go? I'll find it when I'm done here. Okay, so the shock almost clears. I wonder if I can just kind of pry it a little bit. I mean, just a millimeter and it would come right out. I don't know if this will fit. No. Screwdriver would. Come on. Little more. I'm serious, like a millimeter. It's all it needs. Make sure I'm not hitting anything else. Kind of looks like I'm hitting this part here. Alright, you know what? Time to hit the manual. Probably missing something really easy and fundamental. Stand by. Aha! Okay, what I was missing was one bolt. They want me to remove the pivot link bolt, so that's going to allow everything to drop, and there's my clearance. Alright, that's easy enough. Let's see if there's a bolt on the other side of that too. And looks like there is. Now it looks bigger than a 14. Looks like maybe a 16 or 17 on the nut. It's a 14 on the... Now let's for kicks just see if it'll come loose without the nut. Doubt it. The frame is just enough in the way where the socket won't go on straight, so that means you got to use a wrench on it. What is your problem, dude? Why is that slightly loose? Feels like a 13. Either that or somebody started around it. It's just not that great of a fit. It's not a 13. It's a 14 wrench, that's for sure. Oh, fun, fun. This is the kind of stuff I don't like doing because it is so easy to really screw up a bolt. Oh, and this bolt has a very shallow thread on it. There is not much of that head. It's not even as thick as the wrench. It's half the thickness of this wrench. Those suck. Let me make sure the nut's as big as it looks. Yeah. Oh, crud. Well, I'm going to try to break the nut free because at least the nut is full size. But it looks like a 16, maybe a 17. So let me grab a socket. Let me see if I can even get a socket on it. Might have to do a wrench on this one too. Let's see. Where is it? Right here. Yeah. Need a big wrench. Well, it is a 17. I'm going to try freeing it with a hammer here. Except I'm not left-handed. Ugh, crap. Change of game plan. This nut is absolutely locked in place. And it's so soft, it's just being completely chewed up. It got chewed up from the open face wrench. I couldn't get the closed on it. And locking pliers are just shredding it like it's made of freaking lead. That's wonderful. There's no way in hell I'm going to get this bolt side off because it's half size. So, crap. I think I'm just going to leave the stock shock on there. It didn't feel bad, but you know, I wanted to refresh it. But it's not worth buying tools that are going to cost more than the dang shock to get this thing off. It's going to take, you know, even if I get an air compressor and use an air gun, well, I couldn't because I can't get a socket on it. You have to do it by a wrench. And these fasteners are just like butter. And they are really stuck on there. So, you know, if it rides like crap, I'll just take it up to a shop, have them probably cut them off, and put new fasteners on, but and then switch the shock out later. So, I can't really think of anything else to do with this shock situation. I'm trying to think. There's nothing to pry against. It's just really freaking on there. Yeah, there's just nothing I have that's going to take those off. Alright, so never mind that idea. I'll hold on to the shock. Like I said, if it's too bouncy or something, if I feel like the dampening's affected, I'll just have a shop do it. Put the shock on there. It cost me 50 bucks, whatever. Not a huge deal. Let's move on. Workaround. I went with my original thought of just kind of wiggling it out this way. Ta-da! I don't need to take that linkage apart. Screw the instructions. That's the manufacturer's opinion on how to do stuff. Out with the old. Where to put the new? In with the new. Take this label off here real quick. Now I'm going to go ahead and set the preload on this. Differently than the factory setting, you get 1 through 7 clicks, and that sets the base rate for where it's going to be sitting based on the load of the bike, and 4 is the factory default. Come on. And I'm going to switch that up to 6. Leave me a little bit of room. I'll do that when I put it on the bike. A little bit of room in case I need a little more. But being, oh, you know, I'm taking a lot of weight off the bike too. Now I'll just leave it at 4 out of 7 and see where that goes. It's already going to give me a little bit more, which is probably all I need, because I removed so much weight from the bike to offset my weight of 250 pounds, which is more like, you know, a rider and a passenger of typical weight. And all you do to, I guess now's a good time to show you, all you do to change your preload on this, it's manual. Some bikes there's an external lever, some bikes like my FJR it's electronic, but you've got this collar up here and it's got these little flats, and all you do is use this tool here, this spanner, and this is the one that came with the bike, and you stick it in these notches here, and when it's attached to the bike all you do is rotate this around and it compresses or releases the spring tension as it sits static. So it's on 4 now, I can go up 3 more and it would twist it up here and it would force the spring down a little bit. Give you a little bit extra room. The idea is you want your shock absorber to be working in the middle of its range. You don't want it all the way extended. You don't want it all the way compressed, just riding down the street. You want it right in the middle so it has room to work both up and down. To get it really accurate, you can have somebody watch as you sit on the bike and see where between 2 points, you know, it goes, and that way you can determine if you need more or less. Or if you ever feel it bottoming or topping out, obviously that's going to tell you you need to adjust it one way or the other. So I'll just have my wife look at it after it's all built and go from there. Now we can drop this guy right back in. Right down there, right up there. Put the top in first so it can just hang. And the nut on loose, and we'll run the bottom bolt in, and that is the wrong bolt. That's a little longer. That is for the bottom. They look the same, but they're not. There's the top. Run that back in. Now put the bottom one in. Is that the right one? Awfully snug. Making sure it's not cross-threaded, because that doesn't really want to go in. Let me take a look at that before I go and put it all in. It's got some corrosion right on the middle of the threads where it was sitting. Got to be real careful about that when you're putting stuff back together, that you don't cross-thread anything. Alright, I gotta clean all this up. Anyway, I'm gonna button it up and call it for the day. Make sure all this goes back together squeaky clean. A little WD-40 in a rag. That'll take care of any crap that's on your bolts. Check this one out down here. Are they the same? No, they're different. That's what I thought. Bottom one looks good. Top one does have that corrosion. That explains why it was so tough to get open. So question of the day. Do you like riding alone? Do you have a motorcycle 2 seats? How is your significant other as a rider? You know, I've ridden with a lot of people. And this goes for jet skis too. As far as with a passenger, man, the same rules apply as being a good passenger, being a good rider. I've had some really, really stinky passengers, including my wife when she first started out. I mean, she was the kind that would wobble all over the place and be turning her head, and we'd be just coming to a stop, you know, under 5 miles an hour, and she's adjusting and, you know, just twisting her body. Oh, it took so long to nail it through her head to stop, to cut it out, to not friggin' move as we're just pulling away or just coming to a stop. That was her big thing. She's just so fiddly. Drove me nuts. And then I've ridden with other people that total natural. I mean, an absolute pleasure. You cannot tell they were there. And I've had some big passengers, like pushing 300 pounds. Rode like a dream. Literally couldn't tell they were there. They knew what to do. It was awesome. Didn't have to tell them a thing. So what are your experiences with passengers? Do you prefer to ride alone? Do you prefer to ride with your significant other? Do they insist on coming with you? You know, tell me some stories. I'd like to hear it. Anyway, that's it for today. Didn't get too much done, but you know, I'm kind of stuck until like Tuesday because we got the holiday tomorrow. Happy 4th, everybody, of course. I don't know if I'll have a video over the weekend or not because I'm pretty much in standby mode waiting on parts right now. But after Tuesday, I got stuff coming like every day, but Tuesday's a big parts order. There's going to be a lot more videos, and we're going to have the assembly going starting Monday or Tuesday. So it's going to come together real fast. I'll be waiting on paint, and that's about it. But I want to have everything ready as soon as the parts come back from paint. Bang, bang, boom, bolted on, ready to go. Then it's just a shakedown, some minor adjustments, throttle body sync, and the project will be done. So we're talking maybe 20 segments for the whole build project. I'm keeping a tally of costs. I know a lot of you are asking and interested about that, so I'll have all that. That's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time.